We're trying out what I think is the best tool to create unique and memorable NPCs. Don't forget to stick till the end because I have something extra for you to get your unique NPCs fast when you unexpectedly need one really quick. So let's start right now. Welcome to the Dungeon Master's Apprentice, and I'm your friendly neighborhood Dungeon Master. Here at the Dungeon Master's Apprentice, we work on creating my homebrew campaign, The Cursed, and we talk about how to have a great gaming session at the table. Do all your elves act effeminate and your dwarves all sound Scottish? You know you're stuck in a rut when all your innkeepers sound and act alike. Sure, you can borrow personalities from popular culture, but if your players start calling your new sage Sheldon or the town constable Rambo, you need to realize that you may be leaning on popular culture stereotypes a bit too much. Fortunately, there is a great tool that any game master can use, and best of all, it's free. From Conjecture Games, the Universal NPC Emulator by Zach Best is a great table-driven system that produces NPCs with personalities and motivations that can really enhance your role-playing encounters. Did I mention that it's free? The best way to show you how to use a powerful tool like this is to try it out. So let's do that. I need to fill out a village, so let's create a villager. I will be using my dice tables from my Ultimate Fair Dice video. Link above. Since I need a place to start for my D10 table, let's start with 42. To create an NPC, I need to roll multiple D100s. I start by rolling on the NPC modifier table and the NPC noun table. I rolled 63 and 77, so the results are Obnoxious Craftsman. Sounds like a pretty standard villager so far. So let's roll on the NPC power level and find out what power level he or she is. Since this is just a standard villager, I will use the standard roll. I rolled a 94, which is slightly stronger. Let's take the meaning literally. Had he been much stronger, I would have made him the blacksmith. Let's make this NPC the village stonemason. Next, we determine the NPC's motivations. To do this, we roll on the NPC motivation noun table and the NPC motivation verb table. This creates a noun-verb pair. I need to create 3 pairs. There is also a special restriction that I cannot have any verbs from the same column. So I rolled 94, 31, 71, 19, 93, and 23. So that gave me maintain the law, steal intelligence, and execute, 23 is in the same column as 31. So the next number is 52. That gives me peace. Now, what can I do with an obnoxious craftsman that likes to maintain the law, steal intelligence, and execute peace? If he was much weaker than the PCs, I would swear I just rolled up buying a fife. Okay, that image gave me the frame of reference that I needed. So here it is. He's Barnabas Flute. He's a strong, broad-shouldered man. He labors away the day in his workshop, hammer and chisel in hand, shaping the stones. Most of his work goes into the foundations of the village buildings, but occasionally he builds other things like a bridge or a tombstone. Barnabas is an avid reader and usually while working has an open book propped up on his workbench. In the evening, he puts on his constable's sash and wanders the village talking to everyone he happens across, where he proceeds to inform everyone how this philosopher thought of this or how this poet wrote about that. He usually winds up at the local pub, loudly sharing to the patrons his knowledge. Everyone in the village thinks he needs a wife to keep him home at night, but nobody is willing to suggest their daughter or sister be that wife, so Barnabas is still single. In his position as one of the 3 constables and one of the biggest men in the village, he is quite often called upon to deal with drunk and violent men, which he quickly subdues and carries them home. Now, every village needs a know-it-all busybody like Alice Kravitz or Norm Peterson. Some know all about everything going on in the village, some know the history of the area, and some just know random bits of knowledge. But with Barnabas, we get all 3, and there's no chance that he won't talk to the players. It's getting him to shut up that's hard. Now, I don't need to go into this kind of detail for every villager, but a good half dozen or so well-developed PCs will really bring my village to life and hopefully create some interesting dynamics between them. Now, there is much more to the Universal NPC Emulator, but this is just an example. And I think the part I showed easily displays the power to create unique NPCs for your campaign. Now, I promised something special, and here it is. A man by the name of Warren Stull over at the DMs and GMs Resources Facebook group posted his creation, and he has graciously let me share it with you guys. Warren wrote a computer program to automatically generate NPCs using the UNE tables. And that program generated 100 NPCs that Warren compiled into a table. Just roll a D100 and bam, you have an NPC. Download link to the PDF is in the description. Well, if you like this review and would like to see more content like this, please like this video. If you have any suggestions on DM tools like this one that you would like to see reviewed, please leave a comment. I hope you come back for the next installments where I continue fleshing out my campaign world and discuss other dungeon mastery related topics. If you're enjoying this journey with me, then please consider subscribing to this channel. If you do, don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified every time new content is uploaded. Until then, adventure on.